regular day job, okay? I love being a professional basketball player. I love being the master of my craft that's continuing to get better. I love being able to have the opportunity to perform not only in front of millions of people, but in front of true supporters that have been rocking with me for 14 years, 15, 16, 17 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in the culture for a while, but I just want to tell you guys, like, that is my priority. You know what I mean? This is not just a side thing that I do. It's something that I'm really passionate about and I enjoy, you know, because it does give me a chance to snap narratives right there in the neck if they get too crazy. Yeah, I think you guys can understand that from my standpoint now, right? Like, I literally take narratives that be spinning all crazy and I'd be like, snap, like, it's a wrap for that. That old way of traditional media, and you're not able to address things right here and there. Like, no, even when I call this a podcast, right? And I'm gonna say this responsibly, even when I call this a podcast, I really see this as, you know what I'm saying, something like something totally different from even that, because I'm not just necessarily being taped and filmed and then put out and curated. It's just like, no, I'm live in front of y'all. I get to address it, and then we get to move on. And if it has any waves of quote unquote controversy or waves of misunderstandings, right? We are able, the tribe is able to go out there and, you know, get on social and be like, yo, nah, this is exactly what he meant. This is exactly how he said it. You know, because there's a lot of things going on at once. There are certain topics that I gotta tell y'all. It's it's like taboo out here, man. In the celebrity world or the famous world. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. It's like taboo. It's like, yo, don't speak about this. I'm just gonna let y'all know that. I gotta get y'all the behind the scenes. This is what y'all wanted. In the celebrity and famous world, right? Of famous people, people are tired of being these quote unquote celebrities. Cause we were like, and I'll say myself, because my version of myself, right? The version of me that existed before I had my own awakening, before I had my own journey towards understanding who God is more, but also challenging the system, sort of say, right, like, man, this isn't why y'all, man, why are human beings all agreeing to do this? Or like, why are we all agreeing to do that? You know, and I just challenged it openly, right? Like, I suspended for a tweet, got suspended for reposting a movie that was, you know, that was, I'm not gonna say quote unquote anti-Semitic, but there was a lot of information being tossed around about who I was as a person after I reposted that documentary. And for the last 2.5 years, I've had to live under this microscope. And I'm not gonna say I haven't lived under a microscope prior to that, but it was just like there was this air of like, okay, nah, there are some things that, nah, you, and I have to understand that, you know what I mean, to a certain degree. But I took those lessons and I turned them into something positive is really what I'm getting out of that, right? That tweet getting suspended, it really got the ball rolling in me understanding exactly my position in this world and the way I have to present myself and the way I choose to present myself, it matters. You know, the younger generation is watching. I don't want to sit up here and say I'm perfect, right? Because I'm not. I don't want to say I have it all figured out. But when I went through that time, like, you gotta understand, I saw a lot. I had to do a lot, and certain things y'all never knew about. You know what I mean? And that's part of this world that, again, I'm here to bridge that gap for you guys at home. You know, like, when you're in these industry behind the scenes type of things, it comes with it comes with like a, I'm not ever gonna say it's a veil, but damn near like a blind, like, you gotta turn a blind eye to certain things. And again, I'm making my point about celebrities in the famous world, or in the famous world, and what's being talked about is like certain things are just, I don't know, I can't stand up for that, I can't do that. And I'm not blaming them at all. I'm not coming at them at all. But when it has something to do with the human race and us continuing to improve, I'm with that. You know what I mean? If it's us addressing certain traditions that don't fit into who we are as people and who we want to become moving forward, I'm with that. But if it comes to like hateful language, if it comes to just blatant racism and blatant ignorance to how human beings react to things, like, naturally, like, somebody does something out of the pureness of their heart and it's misinterpreted, you know, like, we don't have enough grace as human race to be able to extend that to them. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not perfect, so I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I've done everything right. But I've been able to learn from these situations and be like, okay, let's think about COVID, right? Let's think about how during those times, hey, it was a different time. I'm not going to go into detail because I literally want to save a lot of these things and a lot of these details for my documentary when I release it, years down the line. But like COVID, like it was a lot going on for me personally, but a lot of things you guys didn't know behind that were going on behind the scenes. So I had to figure out how am I going to pick myself up, knowing that of course, yes, I am Kyrie Irving. Yes, I am grateful that I've earned a certain amount of capital in my career. Yes, I'm grateful for all these things because I didn't just like the money wasn't just handed to me. That's something I wanted to tell y'all at home too. Like I know y'all see all these contracts, all this money being tossed around, but it's just like you got to go out and earn that. You got to go out and get that. You got to go out and sell tickets. You got to go out and really sell jerseys. You got to go out and really put on for not just the NBA on a American level, but on an international level. There are a lot of needle pushers in the NBA that'll never get their just due. They'll never get their respect, but they actually help the league grow, right? And I'm always here to give them their flowers, and they know that. They know exactly who they are, the real needle pushers. So shout out to them. But again, this just goes back to how things can be misunderstood, misinterpreted, right? And then having to take accountability for that because I can't control everybody's reactions, but I can control me and how I react. So that's what I learned most. It's like I want to show the next generation that it's okay to make those mistakes. It's okay to go through things that may feel like, man, why am I dealing with this? Or why am I going through this? It's like it's okay to feel like, why me in those moments? But how you react is everything. I wish I didn't react the way I did to certain situations because it gave almost this illusion that, yeah, you right. Yeah, you right. It's sometimes it's not about being right. It's about being held accountable to a certain level as a human being. Again, and I'm only talking like this because I've gone through things, right? I've had things happen to me and I've had to go through therapy, right? Talk to a therapist, talk to a counselor about it and learn how to vocalize how I'm feeling. So again, when I talk about the tweet and when I was labeled as anti-Semitic or I was like going through the COVID situation and people were telling me that, oh, what is he doing? He should get vaccinated. Again, I just wish that I reacted differently, like because I took a lot of those comments that people that I loved and looked up to personally, I took it personally for sure. You know, that's why I want these youngins to know, like, make therapy normal again. It doesn't mean that you have to do everything your therapist says, but it's okay, especially as I am in my skin tone, right? As a black male, right? And I don't go by just black or African American or native or anything like. I don't just go by these terms. It's like as a man in society, I need that. I need that backboard. I have my wife, of course. She's great. Like she's amazing. I love my wife. Shout out to you, baby. That's my everything. You know what I'm saying? Like changed my life for the better too, and really rock with me throughout all of that. You know how strong of a person that is for somebody to rock with you through all of that and to still believe in you. Well, whether it be right or wrong or whose side, which side, it's like, nah, I have my wife really rocking with me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and just be vulnerable with you that I wish I reacted differently because again, and I wouldn't change it, but it's just like, damn, the way I reacted was just okay. I should have just taken a step back. Okay, I see all this craziness around me. I see these media spun narratives. I see, my teammates treating me different. I see some of my peers treating me a little different. I see old coaches treating me different. I see, people I used to look up to treating me different. I felt like that outcast for a little while, and it was literally just because I wasn't talking about how I felt. I was silent, and when you're silent through your painful moments, sometimes people, of course, are not gonna understand you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want these youngins to use my life as an example. Like I'm still hooping at a high level, but still taking that accountability for me as a human being. I'm imperfect, right? I'm perfectly made by God, but I'm imperfect on this earth. I'm still figuring it out. I gotta show y'all that. You guys can't just be thinking like it's shit easy because being in this position, it's not easy, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not easy being in this position in my shoes. Some people say they want these shoes, but nah, yo. And I told my chat this a long time ago, but let me just put something for you, okay? Out of all the things that I've done, out of all the success that I've had, right? I I would take all that success, right? Just to be able to have dinner with my mom, just to be able to hug my grandmother. I lost both of them to overdoses when I was very young. I lost my grandmother and my mom to that crack era in the 90s. And that shit still hurts me to this day. You know? That shit still hurts me to this day. All the success in the world won't give me that same satisfaction that I would have with sitting with my mom and having a conversation about, life and how I've grown and how we gonna plan this, how we gonna plan that. My grandmother, having grandma's cooking. I had it a few times, but I don't really remember. But shout out to hold on, Papa. Okay, I'm talking to the tribe right now. Huh? Hold on. Where's mommy? Go find mommy. Go find mommy. Yeah. But again, and I want to give a huge shout out and send my love to all my ancestors that came before me, all the ones that I never got a chance to know, never got a chance to see, that bust their ass for me to be here today. I want to say thank you to all my ancestors. Seriously. Like 60 years ago in 1965, the world looked completely different. The world looked completely different. I'm just grateful right now. Now, some of our ancestors got caught up in some shit. All right, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Some of our ancestors got caught up in some shit. I don't really condone all the excessive drinking and shit. We grew up, all of us in the black community, right, in some sort of capacity, right? We have grown up around just the lineage of who we are, whether it be projects, whether it be the hood, whether it be the trenches, regardless of what you call it, we come from that ecosystem, that oasis. I'm not far away from the hood, y'all. I may have to be politically correct in certain situations and media trained, as they say, in other situations, but for the most part, y'all, like, don't get it twisted, y'all. Like, I have real life experiences with, and some people may call it hood politics, street shit, whatever it is, but that's real experiences that I've come from. I didn't grow up around it all the time, but this is where my family ecosystem comes from, right? And it's just that raw, unfiltered. It's that raw, unfiltered, for sure. So I got family that come from the projects, from the trenches, and also family that comes from the reservation, comes from, pure like genocide and Holocaust when it comes to them being taken out. So not only have I lost, my grandmother and my mom, but also I've lost people on the res. I've lost people that I won't ever get a chance to know. So I wake up every day and thank God that I have breath in my lungs, because I have a chance and I have an opportunity to change the world for the better, right? And again, I don't tell you guys all of this for any sympathy or anything like that. Don't feel bad for me and things of that nature, because I feel for y'all too, just the way you feel for me, right? It's not feeling bad. It's just knowing that you have others out there that are going through similar situations and they're busting their ass to make sure that their families are in a much better place. It's a beautiful story. I get to tell people about addiction. I get to tell people about how, my mom and my grandmother struggled, other family members have struggled, I've struggled with different things going on in my life with habits and addiction. Like it's human, right? I'm human. I'm not trying to sit in front of y'all and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna tell y'all that because my brand team told me not to tell y'all that. Like, it's just me. I've been on this journey, you guys, for the last few years, where I've been preparing for this. I gotta tell y'all what's been going on, man, because like somehow you. I don't want to say y'all. It's not y'all tribe. It's not y'all at all. If you're tuning in on X, shout out to y'all. Okay, but look, it's just this celebrity famous term, dog. That shit out the window, bro. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. Like, oh, you got millions of followers, or you got this, you got that. Nobody. That used to be the social currency, but now you have real people putting in the work. I, I'm gonna tell you right now. Some of the things that I've tied into and learned about, in terms of how I can help the world. There are people actually doing the work, and I support them. The voice of change and the voice of reason. Yes, I have my own experiences, my own intellectual thoughts, things of that nature. But there are people that are reading every day about what's happening in the world and trying to help y'all. There are people that are, studying every day abroad here in America to help the world. And I just want to put that light on them. So My guest list will be built around that. If you are a light in our world and if you're putting your best foot forward to help out humanity and you're standing on the right things and you're anti-genocide and you know what I'm saying and you're anti murdering people and you're anti like hating on other people and stopping that, like, come on. Nah, of course. So I think it's time that we all release those fears of judgment and move into an age of, yo, this is what it is. It's either you human and authentically you or you not.